So what is going on, guys? I'm Amazing. Welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be breaking down and explaining for you exactly what we see happening in the FIREBASE ending cutscene. It's quite a long one. There is quite a few interesting things going on, especially with Samantha, some of the clothing she is wearing, some of the new characters we meet that are now involved in zombies. So for those of you who are confused, hopefully this is going to help you. And also, what may come with your assistance is if you aren't fully up to date, if you haven't done the Easter egg for yourself, if you don't know in terms of story how we get up to this point in FIREBASE, I've also put together a video that shows you the entire FIREBASE storyline, so if you want to check that out, I will link it down in the description. So at the end of FIREBASE, we see the Requiem team go over to the OPC, where they rescue Samantha from the Dark Ether. We learn within the FIREBASE storyline that Dr. Peck trapped her in here, so the Requiem team rescue her, they pull her back into the normal realm. That's pretty much where this cutscene kicks off. We have Sam returning from the Dark Ether, however the outfit that she's wearing is different to the one that she entered the Dark Ether in initially. If we go over to the FIREBASE trailer, we can see when Sam was first here as a spy, her clothing is drastically different to what she's wearing in the outro. And a few items stand out especially. One, the sword on her back, the katana, also the red kind of scarf around her neck, the gas mask, the vest, the headset with the goggles. Now, since this Easter egg was solved yesterday, I didn't have time to explain this straight away, so people in the community have been speculating as to what this could mean. Some of the big shouts have been, this katana is Takio's. If we compare the two side by side, it's pretty difficult to get an image of Takio's katana. It also varies quite a bit if you're looking at certain trailers or just in-game. I can't find an exact match, but it is quite suspicious that she does have a katana when we know usually in zombies that would represent Takio. Another one people have been saying is the vest she's wearing, her headset and goggles, reminds people of what Nikolai would wear. Again, yes, I can see where people are coming from, but also it's not the exact same. And as for her scarf, a lot of people have been saying this is Dr. Monty's. We know Dr. Monty wears a red scarf, we saw it in Origins, the Giant, whenever we see it, it represents him, but like the other items, it's not exactly the same. It actually looks more like the scarf that Scarlet wears from the Chaos story, although we know those two are not linked. The main question here is then, what's going on? Why have Samantha's clothes changed, and why does it look like she's wearing items of other zombie characters? Nikolai, Takio, Dr. Monty, maybe even other people? Well, from what I can gather, as I said earlier, since she's been trapped in the Dark Ether for some time, having to survive in there on her own against the undead, different creatures trapped within the Dark Ether, and other humans as well, my guess would be whilst trying to survive in there, she's picked up other people's clothes. These are items that belong to other people within the Dark Ether, which if true, kind of bust the myth that this katana belongs to Takio or these goggles are Nikolai's, because the Primus crew, the Ultimus crew, Takio, Nikolai, Dempsey and Richtofen, they are dead, they aren't trapped within the Dark Ether. To me, it seems like what she is wearing is items of clothing that belongs to other survivors that were trapped in the Dark Ether with her. That's not to say that Treyarch weren't intending for this to be a nice nod back to those characters though, even though this katana isn't Takio's, it's still a cool Easter egg, a reference to him, a reminder of a character that was very important to the zombie storyline. So that explains Samantha's change in clothing. As we progress through the cutscene, Samantha comes face to face with Requiem. Before this point she hadn't met them, she was more of a lone ranger doing things on her own. The characters then teleport to the village before the FIREBASE is destroyed by the Dark Ether portal, and when they reach the village, they battle with Order the Elder God, a creature that's escaped from the Dark Ether. They defeat it, and then Requiem, Samantha, and Revanov escape. Samantha asks Revanov why he's not coming with them. He says there's an operation underway in the Ural Mountains, so he has to stay in the field. That seems like it's going to be our next Zombies map. There's been plenty of teasers about it previous to this, so that's probably going to be our next Zombies map location. That's where the Omega group have set up. But as Samantha's talking to Revanov, we notice her eyes are purple. You compared this image of Samantha before FIREBASE, her eyes were blue. Now that she's left the Dark Ether, they are purple. So clearly from her time being trapped within there, she's being infected by the Dark Ether. We already know its side effects. In our old zombie storyline, there were plenty of characters such as Richtofen, Maxis, actually even Samantha as a child, who were infected by the Dark Ether, but their eyes didn't change to purple like this. If you're not too familiar with the zombie storyline, when she was a child, Samantha actually had powers, and then when she travelled over to our Black Ops Cold War universe, she seemed normal, but we were never quite sure if she still had her powers. Would travelling from one universe to this new one cause her to lose her powers? That's never been confirmed or denied, but now that she's been trapped within the Dark Ether and escaped in FIREBASE, her eyes have changed, and we can only guess she's now infected by it. whether or not that means she has powers once again. Another thing I want to say is, usually when people are infected by the Dark Ether, they turn evil. So in our next map in the Ural Mountains, could we see those changes in Samantha start to take place, and her goal to take down Omega suddenly changes? But finally, once Requiem and Samantha head back to Weaver, we skip over to a different scene where we now see Dr. Peck, some Russian soldiers, who of course are Omega, and Valentina. She previously worked alongside Dr. Peck in D-Machine. Peck, if you want to wear, was an American who turned to work for the Russian Omega group. But Dr. Peck says to Valentina, wait until I get back to Moscow so I can tell the Colonel about what's happened. And then the Colonel walks in, where it's revealed that it's Kravchenko. Kravchenko says to Dr. Peck, if you really want to know what I think, then I need to see a demonstration of your commitment to Omega. Where, well, as you can see, he says, tell me, Doctor, which is your better eye? And that's where the cutscene ends. Kravchenko, after it blacks out, I can only say, takes out Dr. Peck's eye, and that's something that's not new to him. So whenever we see Dr. Peck in the next map or we hear from him, his new name is going to be Mike Wazowski. And so guys, there we go. That is it. That is my full breakdown of this ending cutscene. Hopefully that helps you to understand it a little bit better. If it does, make sure you drop a like rating. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you are subscribed, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, goodbye.
Sam, what happened to you?
I recognize that voice. Weaver. You are Requiem. Run!
Are you fucking kidding me? How do we kill this ungodly creature?
Not coming with us?
There is an operation underway in the Ural Mountains. I have to stay in the field.
This is the only way.
I told you once, Omega is not who we are. I do this for the good of the motherland. For the good of us all.
Try not to break anything else.
Remember, there's nothing so broken that it cannot be fixed.
Sam, are you okay?
I'm ready to come in, Weaver. We have a lot to talk about.
Finally! Could you have taken any longer to get here?
You were smart to transmit your research. You demonstrated loyalty, to an extent.
To an extent? What more do you want? Just wait until we get back to Moscow. We'll see what the Colonel thinks about this.
Really? Do you really want to know what I think? I think I want to see a demonstration of your commitment to Omega. Tell me, Doctor, Which is your better eye?